Welcome to the Italian Football Podcast.
Okay, right. So we have to talk about this. So that the build-up to this game was completely dominated, overshadowed by this tweet from Liverpool's official account, which I'm going to read it out because it caused absolute outrage in Italy, well, in Naples, and understandably so. It was absolutely disgraceful that this could come from an actual official account associated with a football team, with Liverpool. Let me read out. So Liverpool tweeted, Liverpool fans should not congregate in public areas and should avoid becoming isolated in areas away from the port area of Naples. We strongly recommend that you avoid the city centre. If you choose to visit, please be aware that you may be targeted for theft, robbery, or assault. I mean, how do you possibly react to that?
Naples, 15 million tourists a year visit Naples, according to some stats sites. This notion that the way they talk, I understand what they were trying to do, but it was so poorly worded. It was so incredibly unnecessarily inflammatory and insulting. I don't think they did it on purpose. I really don't think so. But the way they worded it, the way they presented it, and the way they doubled down and dug their heels in, insulted an entire city for no reason. They insulted everyone in Naples, essentially calling them thieves. Every single person in there is a thief. That's the extension of this. And I'm just thinking, if somebody had said this about Liverpool, the city of Liverpool, they would have been absolutely fuming.
Well, no, you can imagine what would have happened.
But the thing is, they would be right. I think this is not how you do it, because secondly, this creates unnecessary. This inflames tensions. There was no need to do this. You can say be careful and be this and be that without talking, without being this blunt and expressing yourself this stupidly to piss people off and insult an entire city for no reason. And as I said, I don't think they did it on purpose. I think this was just poorly worded. But when they double down and defend it, instead, when the shoe is on, because we know what would have happened if the shoe is on the other foot, and they would be furious, and they would be right to. This was just very, very poor. And I think a simple apology saying we didn't mean any offense. We worded it poorly. This is what we meant. That would have been over. Oh, it would have been completely over.
Yeah. I mean, it's disgraceful. So to make a public announcement like that, you just don't put out that kind of message publicly. Not like you said, not worded like that. And it put Liverpool fans in danger. And we've seen, unfortunately, there is a history. Everybody knows it. There is a history with English fans when they go abroad. It's everybody knows it. They've got a reputation for causing trouble.
They don't even need to go abroad. All you need to look at is the European Championship final in 2021 and what happened to happen at Wembley to those poor low-wage workers and stewards at Wembley who were left to their fate.
Yeah,
you saw what happened. We all saw what happened. It was absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to go to the final and decided not to go because I knew what was going to happen. But they have a reputation, English fans, when they go abroad. Sometimes it is true that they do become a target because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
They do.
That's also important to say.
They've got a target on their head because the countries that they visit, the people there know. Sometimes it almost becomes like a badge of honor. We got the English. We got the hooligans.
No, you're right.
We did this to the hooligans. So it's not it's not all their fault, but a lot of the time, unfortunately, there is a big problem with English fans traveling abroad, drinking heavily, getting absolutely pissed up before the game. Then they start being insulting, doing stuff, pissing over statues and this kind of stuff, throwing chairs around, which seems to be like a favourite pastime. All this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, this stuff does happen. So, if anything, what Liverpool should have done is, okay, they can say, be careful. because you might be targeted, for the reasons I've just explained. But at the same time, they should also be saying, don't go out, don't go there and get pissed up and, just, behave yourselves, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of message, not the kind of message which, unfortunately, this is what is generally always portrayed in the English media and with the case of Liverpool, the media, the Merseyside media, is that it's never Liverpool fans' fault. It's never the English fans' fault. It's always the country. It's always the police. It's always the people, of the country that they're going to. It's never their fault. This has always been the case. So whenever they get into fights or the stuff, they blame they blame bad policing, or they blame UEFA, or they blame the organisation of the team or the country. That is what always happens. It's the same all the time. And sometimes, that can play a part. We saw in the Champions League final, didn't we, in Paris? That definitely played
poor by the organisation.
That definitely played a big role as well. But even dreadful. Then, when you have tens of thousands, invading Paris, then that is likely to happen. You put the police, you unnerve the police. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent now. The point is that, it's also very hypocritical from Liverpool's point of view as well, because we've just take Haysel, for example. I mean, that has basically been airbrushed from history. I'm sorry, I have to say it. No, people like to pretend that this doesn't happen, but it has been basically airbrushed. It's never mentioned. It's almost like it never happened. It never happened. And okay, it's a long time ago, and maybe we should say we shouldn't be bringing it up. It's what happened in the past happened. But it's just I just found this so insulting, and
I think one of the reasons
they deserve an apology. There should be an apology.
We have to be honest. From Liverpool, from the club's account, there should be an apology. There's no need to use that kind of inflammatory language. And like I said, I don't think they did it on purpose. I think it was just very clumsy. What I think was poor was that they didn't back down, that they didn't delete it and publish a retraction saying we didn't mean this. This has been interpreted.
They went on a blocking spree.
They went on a blocking spree.
They went on a blocking spree. People that were criticising them.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even say much. I barely said anything. All I said was, if anything happens to Liverpool fans now, you will have to share the blame for it. That's basically all I said, which is absolutely true.
But the thing is, on the other side of why Liverpool fans are distrustful of the police, they have reason to. There's history there as well. I mean,
of course,
the absolute shame and despicable behaviour by the British authorities after Hillsborough.
Of course, I'm with them every step of the way. I'm with them every step of the way. And what they did in bringing the establishment, I want to say to justice. There wasn't really any justice.
No, there still hasn't been any justice.
But bringing that into so that everybody knows the truth of what actually happened. Yeah. Beautiful, amazing. But you have to. I know what you mean. But yes, I know what you mean.
There's you got to be able to maintain two thoughts in your head at the same time, and you have to be able to take responsibility. And I don't think a tweet like that intended, and again, I don't think they did it on purpose. I think their intention was to calm tensions down, and instead, whoever sent that message is not a very good communicator and shouldn't be doing that job, and they should have just deleted it, apologized.
It's absolute stupidity,
and then moved on.
It's stupidity towards their own fans. It's putting them into so much danger. I mean, I would not have wanted to be a Liverpool fan traveling to Naples if my club has just done that, because I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'm going to have to hide the whole time now because there's going to be people after me. And it reminds me a little bit. I remember this is a famous one, the Battle of Santiago in 1962, right? The 1962 World Cup where Italy played against Chile. Chile were the hosts of that World Cup. Now, the big reason why that game erupted, the main reason why that game erupted into the most brutal, game of football we've ever seen in a World Cup. Italy had 2 players sent off. There were players that had noses broken, faces broken. It was full of fights and free-for-alls, and it was an absolute. I mean, check out that game if you can on YouTube. Watch that game. I mean, it was like WWE. It was unbelievable. The reason why that happened was because before the game, 2 Italian journalists wrote, and I quote, just because I just digged this out, they described Santiago as a backwater dump where the phones don't work, taxis are as rare as faithful husbands, a cable to Europe costs an arm and a leg, and the letter takes 5 days to turn up. It is full of malnutrition, illiteracy, alcoholism, and poverty. Okay, that's a little bit worse than what Liverpool said about Naples, but you get the point. That stirred up, inflamed all the temperatures. It infuriated the whole of Chile. The whole of Chile were absolutely infuriated by this, and including the players themselves. And that created,
it was unnecessary. Like, the thing is, I think Klopp said it best when somebody in Naples asked him about it before the game.
I thought carry on.
No, I thought he said, look, the intention is, what he said is the intention. One group of fans should not meet another group of fans because something will happen. That was what they were trying to say. Instead, they made Naples sound like it's more dangerous than the Ukraine during Putin's bombings. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, this notion that you can be, it's a city that is one of the biggest tourist places for tourists to visit in the world. 15 million before the pandemic visited Naples annually. 15 million. And so we're not, it's ridiculous. The way they spoke, again...
Must be a lot of robberies, eh? Must be 15 million robberies.
But it's name me the city that is safe. I'm sorry, name me the city that is safe in the West from theft, robbery, and stuff like that.
But that's what's ironic about it, because, Liverpool has a reputation. And I love Liverpool, by the way. Yeah. When I was a little bit younger and we used to go out, me and my friends, we used to always regularly, or at least once a year, we would go for a night out in Liverpool. Beautiful. The people were great on nights out. It was there's lots of stuff to do there. You got the Beatles, obviously. I mean, everything else. Because there was a lot of culture there as well. Yeah. It's I love Liverpool, but at the same time, it does have, rightly or wrongly, Liverpool also has a reputation for for this as well. And actually, Salvatore Esposito actually tweeted about it. The famous actor from Gomorrah. Because he got pissed off about it as well.
Well, of course he did.
And so
people don't like being insulted. I mean, it was unnecessary. Like I said, I mean, it's. I don't think they meant to, but to be fair, maybe they.
I'll tell you one thing though. They were right to tweet about it for one reason, though, Liverpool, and that's because Joe Gomez, he got robbed 3 times in the first half. I mean,
and Van Dijk got assaulted all game, didn't he?
Yeah. So they didn't get the memo, and they should have sent it. So they should have sent it to their players, as my colleague Ronan Murphy also tweeted. He said, Liverpool should have told their players to stay away from Naples, not their fans, because they got they really did take a hiding.
Listen to the full show and all other episodes by going to patreon.com/TIFP and become a member for only $2.99 per month.